Sachin, 99 as skipper, it was tough because some horrible umpiring decisions, shoulder LBW and all of that happened. But even then you got 100. Even then you got multiple 50s. And then came Sydney. So if I could take you there, because what stands out for me in that 2003-4 tour, it can happen to anyone. You were in very good sync from India. All of a sudden you got out in Melbourne, you got a couple of, knocks where you did not get runs, and then it all boiled down to the mind and that patience, giving up on ego. And it can happen to Virat, it can happen to Pujara, it can happen to any one of the current team. Can you tell me about Sydney 241? Because for me that stands out. Mentally, how you approached them.
See, before we went to Australia, I was in a very good nick. We played Australia in India, and also New Zealand was there as a third team. We played a tri-series. I had scored runs. So when I went to Australia, when I was booming with confidence, and I felt this is the tour where I'm going to make a big statement. I had done well on 99 tour in the test series, but the team hadn't been able to put up big totals on the board, and it just did not work out. So here I was determined to, we had a good team, we had a good bowling attack, and I thought if we could start on a big note, then we can push them on back foot. It's a 4-test series. If we play the first test well, things can change for us. I got a bad decision, as you said earlier, but those are the things which are behind. But that decision affected me. It was a big mistake, I felt. Second test match, again, I went to play a big shot. I got out to ambit. In the second innings, I had a important partnership with Rahul Dravid, and we won that test. We go to Melbourne. I was still feeling good about it. But somewhere, that decision had affected me. It had disturbed me mentally. I scored runs again in the second innings. I scored 44 something runs, and trying to play a big shot of Brad Williams, I get out, which was discomforting. First innings, I get out to Brett Lee, flick down the leg.
Yeah.
First ball. I mean, I don't know how I nicked that ball, and I could actually see that Gilchrist was waiting for the ball to come. He was standing so far behind. So those kind of things had disturbed me mentally. But my conversations with my brother would help a lot. And while we were discussing, somewhere deep within I knew, because every time you play a ball, the sound that you hear is all about how confident you are. And the sound wasn't that bad. The sound was okay. So I still felt this is not the end. This is just a bend along the way. That's okay. And after my conversation with my brother, I realized that there was no weakness as such. If at all there was any weakness, then that weakness was about shot selection. So I need discipline to be in the driving seat. And my natural instincts, they have to be sitting in passenger seat. So my discipline, come what may, even if I was batting 70, 120 or 155, I was always going to have discipline as my driver in that innings.
Fantastic.
And the challenge which my brother threw at me pre-test match was try and stay not out. I don't think any bowler can get you out. It is because of your shot selection. And I took up that challenge and I said, okay, I'm not going to get out this test match. And about not playing cover drive, it happened there and then on the field. I had not decided this earlier. So I went there and I suddenly realized that all the bowlers are bowling, in that corridor on the 6th stump, not even 4th stump. So I said, okay, fine. If you're going to keep bowling away from me and frustrate me, I'm going to take on this challenge and I'm going to frustrate you. It's 1 versus 11. Let's see who loses patience first. I'm not going to play a single cover drive. And that's how it happened there and then on the field. It wasn't planned.
Wow.
It happened there and then on the field.
I didn't know this.
And it is all about what you are for the team. But it is not always about natural instincts taking over and this is how I play. It's not about you. It's all about what you are for the team. And earlier 3 test matches, when I looked at the scoreboard, I said, this is not what I am. This is not what the team expects from me. The team expects much bigger scores. And for that, if I have to make changes, my destination is never going to change. But this time, I will have to take a different route to get there. And I will get there eventually, provided I'm flexible in my mental setup. And I did that. It was a different kind of innings. I had to do something different.
Is it that you have to hold your ego back, however big you are, even if you're Tendulkar or Kohli or Smith or whoever, I mean, one of the greatest batsmen? Is it about when, say, the pink ball moving around, that's when you've got to dig in and hold your ego back and not play certain shots? Is it about the mind? How do you explain that?
See, whatever I have seen with the pink ball test match, you have to be extremely selective, extremely aware of the clock. And whenever the sun is going down, the temperature drops. And before dew sets in, when the grass is nice and cool, there is going to be little extra lateral movement of the surface. And that is when you don't just respect the bowler, but you also respect conditions.
Wow.
So here in a pink ball test match, your first session could well be the one where you cash in. You take little more chances and you play more aggressively. Maybe in Australia the sun goes down later than what it did in Kolkata. Kolkata literally by 4:30 or so it was dark.
Yeah.
So from 4:30 to I felt 6 o'clock, 6:30 or so was a critical time where the batsman had to respect not just the bowler but also the surface and play out, build those partnerships there. And then, once the ball got wet, then you can start playing little more shots. So I think maybe towards the end of the second session and the beginning of the last session might be that phase where the ball does a little extra and you need to just hold back your aggression and natural instincts and be a little more disciplined. I remember my conversation there in Kolkata. I had said to the team management, and of course Virat was also there. So I had said, whatever I have seen so far, I feel if there are 2 wickets, don't look to score those 20 runs extra when the ball is seaming around in the evening. You are better off declaring at that time and getting there at top 3 batters.
Nice. Okay.
That works much better. So you might be short by 20 runs, but you would have possibly saved 120 runs there.
So basically, if I understand right, your suggestion is if India is, say, 8 down for 220, rather than getting the extra 15, you still have an hour to go, you declare and go for it. That's what you're saying?
I would be tempted to do that.
Wow.
Given the conditions are, significantly in favor of fast bowlers. If the temperature doesn't drop much and, the grass is not on a cooler side, then there is no reason to declare. But if the grass is on cooler side, that is one thing that I would be tempted.
Wow, I had no idea about this. I mean, I learned this. Cheteshwar Pujara, last series 300, set it up for India. But what I want to talk to you about is longevity. 92 to 2010, 20 years, consistently getting hundreds in Australia. Did preparation change? Did mental preparation change? Say when a young 19-year-old batting in 92 to a 37-year-old batting in 2008, did you do things differently? Give me a sense, how is it that in every tour you were getting hundreds? Was it you ahead against Australia in the mind that they were scared of you? What was going on?
Yeah, I don't think anyone was scared of me or I was scared of anyone. At that level, you go out and compete hard. But before that, you have to prepare yourself. You have to prepare yourself depending on the kind of opposition that you're going to encounter. And I felt when in India we were playing Australia and Vaughan was likely to bowl round the wicket in those critical situations. I hadn't played enough round the wicket bowling till then. So I had to practice for that, and I had to consider my attacking options, and if I have to defend, if I have to just bat the ball, then what should be my body position? Because I hadn't done that before, so I had to tell myself and prepare myself accordingly. What were my scoring options? So I figured that out. And similarly, when you go to Australia, you practice on pitches which are bouncy, fast, and hard surfaces. So I did that, and then when there were early part of my career till 2007, there were no indoor nets in Mumbai, and this works best on indoor surfaces. You know, whether AstroTurf, you wet the ball and let it go. It is maybe 15-20% more than Australian pitches, little extra bounce, but it depends on which ball you use. I would practice there, sometimes getting under the ball, playing over slip fielders, sometimes just leaving the ball, sometimes just blocking it, sometimes pulling it. So those kind of all-round preparations you have to undergo. You have to cover all aspects, because it's that journey that one has to enjoy. Performances will always be judged by outsiders. It's for everyone to judge, but satisfaction is only realized by oneself.
Correct.
No one else can judge that. So when you prepare yourself, are you happy with your preparation? Are you satisfied? Are you well prepared to go and give your best? So you go there to deliver, not to prepare yourself there and then start delivering. You start delivering from ball one, and that is what I believed in.